good evening, folks, and welcome to our broadcast. Good to have each and every one of you on the live. Share the broadcast, folks. Smash that emoji button for us. We're happy and delighted to have all of you folks here with us. Share the live, folks. Smash that emoji button as well. Hope that you guys are good. You hit the ground running today, folks, and you're bringing up the flank. You're bringing up the flank of the day. Please and thank you. Good to see you, folks. Thank you so much for joining us. We know that y'all could be so many other places. Ibon Lamy, Patricia, and Joanna. Don Rundle Lane is on the live tonight. Bantu King is here as well. And I see Patricia Kisoon. Valme Wilson. Angeli Abrams is here too. I see Angela Jordan is here. Angela. I see Marcy said, I good. Thank you guys so much. Share that live for us. Smash that emoji button, folks. Lots happening. Lots happening, as you know. This is the season. What else we can tell you? Give you a little space. This the season. It is the season. Look at it. Just it right. Yeah, I think that's it. Tis the season, folks. How y'all doing? Angela, Jordan, and Hobby. Hope that you guys had a great day, folks. The weekend is upon us. Tomorrow's Friday. Believe it or not, tomorrow is Friday. It's Thursday at our end. Thursday, the 27th day of February. Hastening on to March, folks. We hastening on to March. A day left, and then it's done. Tomorrow's the end of the month. Believe it or not, the end of the month. How are you folks doing? Wherever you're joining us from, wherever you all rocking and coming in from tonight, how you all doing? Tis this season, folks. As you know, tis this season. Lots happening. A lot of things. Let me see if I come this far. Yeah, a lot of things happening. Good to have all of you with us tonight. And as we coming on, folks, I learned that my colleague, Vince Roy Jordan, he has a little dengue fever. At least that's what they're telling us. A little dengue fever, folks. Folks, we know the man upstairs could fix it. We know the man upstairs could fix it. And so I've said a little prayer for my brother, and I hope that you guys will as well. Don Walcott, all the other folks watching us from Kokwani, like Marcia Agard. Good to see you, Marcia, Colin Solomon, all the other folks. Folks, it's Thursday night. Say a prayer as you retire tonight, or even if you on the program now, as you on the live. Say a prayer for our brother. I have no doubt he is going to pull through. We want it sooner rather than later. You know, that's the generation we belong to. We want it sooner rather than later. And because he's my brother from another mother, I'm going to ring the bell one time for him tonight. MP Vince Roy Jordan from Region 5. This is a man who always on the ground. And no doubt as you move around and so on and so on and so on. You know, people who idle don't get dengue and so on. People who busy. You know, people idle doing nothing with their life and so on. God bless you, nonetheless. But we want to pray for the speedy recovery of my brother Vince Roy Jordan. You know, once you're in 592, you got to prepare for anything. You got to prepare for anything, because this is where we are. You know, think it not strange. Think it not strange. Say a prayer for my brother tonight. Please and thank you, good folks. Say a prayer for my brother, Vince Roy Jordan, brother from another mother. Think it not strange, folks. Think it not strange. We can show you all some things tonight. You can wonder. We're in the same country. What's happening with Jagdeo? I mean, like, I got a fair idea. What's happening? He all right? Something wrong with him? Something wrong with him. Yeah, it's true. It's like really mine all the time. You know? And he paying us rent too. He paying us rent. We and him, he mine. And he paying us rent. What's wrong with Jagdeo? It's like a man torn. A man at war with himself. Almost. At war with himself. But there might be method to it. There might be method to it. Because he pointing at some people and say, you see, it's them. But might be him. He might be guilty of the same thing. You see? He got to salvage this party that he got. The bleeding badly. Lacerations about the soul of the party. The bleeding profusely. And he got to stitch up them wounds. So these problems are cutting them every day, corruption and mismanagement, malfeasance in public office, got him looking thin. So he come out now. This is a man that creates all the problem, you know. And then he writing out like the savior. And you will hear he say, it's not we, it's them. It's them. We come around to you in a second. Folks, share it damn live. Smash that emoji. But wherever you're joining us from tonight, happy to have each and every one of you on the live. Ring the bell for all of y'all. Ring the bell for each and every one of you. Tis the season. Tell the neighbor, tell the person in front of you and beside you. Tis the season. Then put up your foot on them now. Put up your foot on them now. Tis the season, folks. I did say to you, and I know they're watching us because I heard them saying it today. Oh, you can see all kinds of things. Mechanicians. Confabulations. You can see all kinds of things. Hatching, matching, even some dispatching. You know them boys like the dead. You know they have an affinity for the dead. We can see all kinds of things this political season. Brace it over. That's what I really want to tell you all. Brace it over. Think it not strange. Think it not strange when these things happen. Come like a political prophet tonight. Brace yourself for it. Brace yourself. Please and thank you. That being said, my sister from another mother. My sister from another mother. The one and only Vanessa Kisoon. Today learned. You know, I vexed her. Y'all tell her for me. Y'all tag her as a matter of fact. I ain't like talk things behind people back. I'm a big person. I'm a big person. You get a certain age, you go around people back. Anthony and Dez. You ain't going around nobody back. Right to the face. You're a tagger for me. I vex because, you know, you just got to call some key people and say, look, you can see X, Y, Z. Bap, bap, bap. You don't feel no way. I'm making a turn. Don't think nothing. You know the kind of way? So I vex in the score. I vex in the score. So I'm owed an apology and I want to do. I'm owed an apology and I want to do. So our sister's stepping back. She says personal reasons. Y'all don't have a business. I tell you, when you're a big person, you don't got to explain yourself too much, Irwin Don, F4, Lester, Eben. He's a big person. I told you all, scam management say, whatever it is, man, don't know the details. Whatever it is. I step him back, personal reason. Right? I don't want to explain myself too much, Carlin. I don't want to explain myself too much, Irwin. Whatever it is, personal reasons. So my sister stepping back. You know, sometimes you have to go to come. Father himself said it. He said, it is expedient that I go. If I ain't go, I can't come. You know, I ain't got no problem with it going. Once you go to the other side, that's all I think I'm going to think. Once this is one, I'd snatch, you know. You hear with assault and all that, but you gonna know the reason why. Right? Nobody going no next side, I'd snatch Vanessa. So I'm owed an apology. I tell you all that. And I want my apology in camera because I can bring a show y'all. So you see this one here? She only playing bad. But our sister says, Gavin Liverpool, Adele Simple, she's stepping back for personal reasons. Right? I felt like I was telling a little too long. Because I noticed you tell Gordon. I pick up something in my spirit this morning. This morning I wake up, I feel a little strange. Right? I feel a little strange, Peter Alfonso. Right? I didn't know what I didn't know. Right? Well, we yet knew. We still knew nothing. So I would snatch. Some people could go. Some people I want to go. Some people giving you all these signs. They're over on the other side. Not that they're gone. They're over there. You go. Like they just shame for just go full. But I would snatch. I'd snatch Vanessa. I'd snatch she. So I'm owed an apology, Vanessa Kisoon. I'm owed an apology. I mustn't pick up no newspaper and read nothing. Yeah, it's past me or what? Like we're getting too big for your boots. Right? So what people used to say when you didn't say morning first. Like you wake up in the same bed. Never catch you with her. Like you wake up in the same bed. So when necessarily making a beeline. What's in that? Being up a fret over there. Sometimes you got to go to come. It's where you're going. Where you going? Then we got the problem. Where's you going? All right, we wish you the best. On the interim, she really going no place. I know she's going there. She either by the union or she by the school. Definitely she in Linden. You know, so I know where she's going to be there and so on and so. I'll keep you all posted on that front. But there's a couple things we following. Good folks, this is the season. This is season. Y'all think it's easy in this country now? Y'all think it's easy? It is not. By golly. By God. Let's start with the opening tonight. I saw former Finance Minister Winston Jordan run out behind Ashley recently. Ashley talking a bundle of nonsense. You had to have somebody with the stature of Winston Jordan to say what he said. It's like a slap in your head, separate your sense from your nonsense. Oh, public servants, they can choose which establishment they want to go to. Winston said nonsense. I like sharpshooters like that, you know. You don't got to be political. You just hear till you call it one time. Nonsense. You're talking foolishness. We have lost some big people like that, you know. Some of the problems we're in currently is because we have lost the giants. But I'm happy that we still got former Finance Minister Winston Jordan. Nonsense. He'd message you and say, talking foolishness. You could have said this thing better. Look, bap, 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 bap. Nonsense. Running behind Ashley. So this thing here is not, no country on earth. No country on earth. People can operate like this. No country on earth. Let the man talk for himself. Take a look.
During the most recent sitting of the National Assembly, Minister with responsibility for finance Ashley Singh said that some former contract employees approached him to revert to the contract employment. A contract employee is paid his emolument plus his gratuity of some 23% every 3 months. Former Finance Minister Winston Jordan had placed the contract employees on a fixed pensionable payroll.
He claimed that public servants had the freedom of choice to choose gratuity or a lump sum payment upon retirement under the previous act. He claimed that we took away this. My friends, all those on the live, all those on this live, and all those who listening, tell me where in the world a prospective employee will have the option of choosing whether he or she wishes to go on contract or on the permanent establishment.
The employee doesn't determine his terms of employment, he said. This could only be done if the prospective employee has a special skill that's desperately needed.
A contract employee is one who is on the job on a temporary nature, not permanent. When you have a public service, you're trying to build an establishment. And that establishment over time will be known for its professionalism, its efficiency, and all these kinds of things. And so the government will invest in training of all different types of the officers in the service, enhance their capability of providing that service.
He said that there can be no policy to allow the government to give a public servant the option to make such a determination.
And then he went further to say that how we deprived these employees of income because instead of getting their 22.5% gratuity, they were now forced into the public service.
George's advice to Minister Singh is that good sense without common sense is nonsense.
You know, she's always scattering with her pen. I love to take notes digitally, physically, however, using AI, artificial intelligence, however, you know, common sense without nonsense. It's nonsense. You know? Nonsense you're talking. Oh, we you have a choice. We give So you choose your terms of contract now. Give them a choice to choose what salary they want. Give the workers a choice, Lone Wolf, to choose what salary they want. Give them that choice. But I tell you folks, tis the season. Tis the season. All manner of things. Case in point. Your boy had a press conference today. What's wrong with Jagdeo? He had a press conference. He's a man at war with himself. He's at war with himself. It reminds me of what the Apostle Paul says. Who sharpened the draw tonight? You remember that? It reminds me of what the Apostle Paul says. That's what it reminds me. When I heard him, he said, will to do good, but I find evil is ever present. Oh, wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me? Who shall deliver me? Mother brother from Linden, just sharing about my sister Vanessa who owes me an apology publicly. Wrote a letter to the press recently. And he picked up on this thing that Jagdeo talking about how these contractors ain't walking. That's how he's torn. In this PP government, Jagdeo is the most powerful figure. And I don't think I got to convince y'all. Y'all know this puppet show. Y'all know this Putin and Medvedev story that's happening here. We've seen this movie before. We know it going. And so, as we're in this election year, he has started now distancing himself. It's not me. It's the Fisher Bishop. It's not me. It's the contractors. I got to set her right. This is part of the playbook. What could they do without me? Look, I left this bald head, big hole one with this ministry here. And look how them contractors running roughshod over him. I can step in now. See, look, PP built this scheme here called Diamond. And they didn't widen the road. We can widen the road now. we can widen the road now. He's torn. It's his government. With a phone call, a stroke of a pen, he could dismiss a contractor. He could set right the problem. But he wants you to see. You see this government here? Look. I can tell you the wrongs. I'm not afraid. So German Vergeer, member of parliament, chairman of the Public Accounts Committee in the National Assembly, very important committee, took them to task recently and said, this admission here is tantamount to an admission of failure as a government. But we keep seeing this set piece. We saw the GCOM. Myers rang, Lowenfield rang, Mingo rang, Hetzberger, Duncan, whoever else. All them wrong. But Claudette, oh, she's the angel. Haven't we seen that? Claudette the angel. Everybody else wrong her. And wrong this country. But not her. She can do no wrong. And we see that time and time again. No, he's assuming the same posture. He's not admitting the contracts that some of these guys have gotten, friends, family, and favorites. They should not have gotten them to begin with. So German called him out recently, picked up on this thing. Oh, it's not me. Oh, these poles are falling in south. If only I was there, they would push the pole down further, 10 inches in and 2 and something. And so, oh, and these poles on Home Church Avenue here, and this project is lacking there, and the bridge and the... But he, chief cook and bottle washer, chief cook, Vergeer raised the issue recently in the press, and your boy picked up on it. Look the hypocrisy on the question of infrastructure, poorly done infrastructure, friends, family, and favorites infrastructure. He's now distancing himself. It's not us. He says it's not a matter of planning, it's execution. Well, if you plan to give your friend and your family the contract that you know they didn't qualify for, you're more to be blamed than they are. Not so? Good folks, take a look. Jagdeo the blame game. He's a man torn. Listen to nonsense.
The road is the single road that brings most of our traffic and material for construction.
I should have let you know, folks, a proper introduction. Here he's talking about the East Bank Road. The road falling apart. They're building it and it's falling to pieces. It's the East Bank Road he's speaking about. Take a look.
The road is the single road that brings most of our traffic and material for construction coming down that road. We have a project, because we saw that need, we have a project now to widen the road 8 feet and repave it whilst we're building the alternative. But that doesn't mean that the people who are the Chinese contractor or Ministry of Public Works can just go and dig up anywhere on the road without regard for the flow of traffic. Although I know how hard it is to work on a road where you have that amount of traffic and there is no bypass. It's not planning, it's the implementation. And we have 40,000 contracts around the country every day maybe being implemented. We can't oversee every one of them, but it's not lack of planning. We need the road. We awarded a contract for the road, but it is how it's being constructed. It's not planning, it's the implementation. And we have 40,000 contracts around the country every day maybe being implemented. We can't oversee every one of them, but it's not lack of planning. We need the road. We awarded a contract for the road, but it is how it's being constructed. And we have a duty as citizens and me as General Secretary. I don't care if my comments coincide with that of the opposition. And if they call it out, they're right to do so too. We pay engineers for a purpose, to make sure that things are done well, our roads are built well, or whatever public infrastructure, but they can't do so and behave like little gods. They don't care about the users on the road. This is precisely why I pointed out that they did not have a proper protocol for putting down the concrete poles. Now we've shifted to concrete poles. I would have expected by now that the engineers, not the politicians, would have said, here is the protocol for manufacturing a concrete pole. That's to be pre-stressed, that's to be certain strength, so it would last 40 years. 2, for transporting, a protocol for transporting these poles, installing them in a manner that they would stay in the ground. I expect that by now, not politicians to say that. We discovered they did not have such a protocol. They just had, just put it down 6 feet, 10% of the length of the pole plus 2 feet. But you have to look at the subsurface, the base, and everything else to understand that. Now they have done that. It's not because of failure of the PPP or the politicians or our party. It's because of the people who you pay to do the work. They should have done this before. And then now, this week, another issue came to my attention. We just discovered that on the East Bank, a number of the people who are building these concrete roads, the small contractors, they said that the concrete suppliers, and there's several of them, and some of them have been very delinquent. They supply short material, and secondly, the PSI is not the right PSI. 28 days later, a road should be at 4,000 PSI or 4,500 PSI. They're getting 2,000 PSI. That means they're cheating on the quality of the concrete. So the small guy who is building the road, he buys the concrete, he does it, gets a small contract, but when the road doesn't meet the standard and it starts dusting, then he gets blamed too. But it is the quality of concrete supplied. So Public Works, I talked to them and they're going to issue a statement. And if we find that they are doing this, the suppliers, they would lose the right to supply to any government project because we'd say to those people, don't buy from them. In fact, effectively blacklisting them.
Now, that's something you hear all the time. You see that ending there? If we find from this day forward, he know all that he know. He's a hypocrite. He's a vagabond and a viper. And that's what he is. If he knows all that he knows, what is stopping you from taking action now? But you see some of his friends supplying concrete. Some of his very friends are supplying the concrete. That is why he's taken that position. He pointed out the Region 8, I think, engineer bidding for contract, and he overseeing contract too. He overseen himself. Nothing has been done to him. He pointed out somebody else, the man with the poles in South. He come, talk big and so on. That's the aim. Show leadership. Look, y'all get this thing right here. It's poor planning. I dare say MP Figueroa was right. It's poor planning, that's where it starts. That is where it starts. Right down the chain. Poor everything else, including execution. Including, he's a first-rate hypocrite. Hypocrite. Or as the Europeans say, hypocrite. That's hypocritical behavior. That is hypocritical behavior. Like in Region 10 tonight. I ain't planning. You want to see hypocritical behavior? Region 10 trying to construct a main office for their Regional Democratic Council. They have a building, it's old, it's supposed to be condemned. The building cost $680 million. $680 million. And they want to give the chairman and team, give the region, Darren Adams and team, 235. And then when the project gets stalled, planning, this is not supposed to be a multi-year contract. When the contract gets stalled, now you can hear it's them. You can hear, oh, they want to blame Statement Inc. for Bamia, but look there, they start the project. They won't go and say they give sharp money. Right? All of this is an attempt to embarrass. It's an attempt to embarrass. And then when you hold the feet to the fire, you hear you like them. Well, you're all right on that. You're all right. Everything costs 680. How are you giving 235? You know the people need a new building. And you see, I'll suddenly love Linden. You suddenly found all this affection. Your heart a beat for Linden. But you give a Linden short money. You know how much the Spanish costs. They're giving short money. You don't forget head bus. It's not look you looking, forget head bus now. Some of y'all know your label. Wicked more than anything else. Wicked, wicked, wicked. Them boys, wicked. Wicked. You all know Mike Pompeo was here recently. You all know Mike Pompeo was here recently. Huh? But I heard Dr. Vincent Adams speaking with her other brother from another mother. Speaking with him and asking him, how come Mike Pompeo get him better treatment? Now people right here, Mike doesn't hold any senior portfolio in the U.S. government. As a matter of fact, he was shunned. He was shunned. So how he getting all this special treatment? Take a look.
Former United States Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is no longer the powerhouse in the Donald Trump administration. He hasn't been granted any position and has been stripped of his security detail. Yet he continues to be closely entwined with the Guyana government. One-time head of the Environmental Protection Agency, Dr. Vince Adams, said that there must be something that causes the PPP government to cling to Pompeo. Pompeo was a diplomat.
But you have got to be careful when you go to a foreign country or any place else, even in your own country, that you always have to at least give the appearance of neutrality and fairness to all. You cannot go there and represent bias, especially the political appointees can in the country itself, which is the United States, but you cannot you don't go there unless you've got grounds for doing the same.
Pompeo was a political employee. He didn't have to exhibit any semblance of neutrality while in the United States. In 2020, before the results of the elections were declared, he had said that the Granger administration had to demit office.
And then now you have the vice presidents of Guyana now, well, the de facto president, who is saying that this man, he's invested in this man, even though this man was cast aside, basically, as you rightly said, by the current administration of the United States government. But we are holding in with both arms and saying, hey, no, you've got a place here in Guyana, and we've got a common interest in Guyana. Somehow it sounds as if Pompeo has a big say in what goes on in Guyana.
Pompeo was invited to give an address at the recent energy conference held in Guyana. And while Pompeo was invited, the opposition wasn't, Dr. Adams reminded.
A key component of the governance of this country, which is the entire opposition, and members of parliament were not even invited. So what are you telling me? You want to build relationship with an ex-official of the United States government, but you're not interested in building relationship with the opposition party that has to govern and make decisions in parliament. That is stunning.
He said that the claim of one Guyana is a propaganda stunt.
Propaganda stunt. You heard it here from Dr. Vincent Adams and our brother Morgan Williams. A propaganda stunt. Straight shooter. We ain't playing. Folks, I can tell you all this season. We're going to hear all manner of things. You're going to hear they're coming for looking your pot. You're going to hear what Burnham do in 1974. What happened in 1992. You know they can't tell you about the future. In any convincing way. I heard Jagdeo today talking about, you see, when we come back, we're looking at violence against women. That's one of the key things we'll focus on. After they're done, beat up and assault a whole host of women. When we come back, every day we should be championing issues like this. But not them. Not them. Tis the season. You hear who the banned what 60 years ago on a Friday night by the side alley, by the back fence. You're going to hear and see some things, folks. But don't lose faith. Don't lose hope. What about Jagdeo? Folks, we there today. we there today. We peep him by the corner shop show. And we were left in amazement. We were left in amazement. Big head bandit. Some things we heard there. You know you're in the election season. You know. And the man who pointed a finger by other people, all the other fingers pointing back at him. One of the things we heard today was some fear mongering. Oh, look. He's seen a ghost in every shadow. A man torn, a man at war with himself. Look. You see the shadow there? It's over here. What madness? Facebook. What nonsense? Facebook. Case in point. Take a look. Take a look. Tis the season.
I believe it's a pernicious plot by APNU in collaboration with the mayor of Georgetown to create as much dissatisfaction among the people of Georgetown and to create unease in their minds. This is directly from the playbook of the PNC in the past, where particularly around election time, they often wake up their moles with direct, in various agencies, with direct instructions to them to do this sort of thing. We've seen unusual levels in the past. Not that it is happening now, but I expect they may want to do, and therefore I'm forewarning people about this pattern of behavior that we'd seen in the past.
So it's not something that's happening currently, right? It's not something that's happening currently. He said it's may or may not. I'm not too certain. He said it's a pernicious plot. What is more important? He said you got some moles. I thought we got hard-working public servants in these ministries. He said, no, it's moles. You look a certain way, you dress a certain way, you carry yourself a certain way. You have a certain hue. You're a mole. It's not a public servant who got a choice between the fixed and unfixed establishment. It's mole. So I'm thinking, what the devil is this man talking about? What the devilment is this molism all about? You're a mole. It's election time. I ain't saying they're doing it, but I'm just putting you guys on notice. They may or may not. I don't know. They may or may not. Who is this? Isn't that fear mongering? Huh? Isn't that something the Ethnic Relations Commission should take a look at? He says, no, this time the moles just wake up. This is a man who, when APNU AFC was in government, he knew in opposition who getting land, who get land here, who gave out what contract there, what's happening over there. But he said we got mole in his government. We got mole in his government. It's not hard working public servants. Moles, he said. Take another listen. Listen carefully.
They would wake up their moles in the tax, some sympathizers in the tax department, in GWI, in GPL, and have an unusual spate of activities, often in the most remote parts of the country, sending people tax returns, pushing their water bill to astronomical numbers, then suddenly to create dissatisfaction, clipping people's electricity unreasonably. So I'm hoping, as General Secretary of the PPP, I'm watching for patterns, that this will not be done by APNU as a plot to create dissatisfaction among people. They would wake up their moles in the tax, some sympathizers in the tax department, in GWI, in GPL, and have an unusual spate of activities, often in the most remote parts of the country, sending people tax returns, pushing their water bill to astronomical numbers, then suddenly to create dissatisfaction, clipping people's electricity unreasonably. So I'm hoping, as General Secretary of the PPP, I'm watching for patterns, that this will not be done by APNU as a plot to create dissatisfaction among people.
This man is loony. He gotta be loony. Nothing happening though. I'm looking for patterns. You see in Karasibai, if you get a big you get tax return, it's the moles. You see? The other day I saw Daily News publish some tax information for Terence Campbell. Who mole in GRA released that information? Huh? To the Propaganda News Network. Who's mole in the tax department released that? Let us be fair, brothers and sisters. Friends, ringsiders. Who's mole in the GRA released that man's information. Please and thank you. But what is he getting at? He talk is like lying, you know. Like cut to it. Like Dr. Vincent Adams. Like Raj. Whatever it is. Get to the point. What is he getting at? This deep state conspiracy. So if you like the cut because you don't pay your bill this year, it's election year, so it's the moles. You get a tax return. Something like it's the moles. There's a deep state, deep moles. They're working for the opposition. Every government working against us. What's this conspiracy the vice president talking about? What's this conspiracy? What is it? Why all this lying? What's he getting at here? Take a look.
I noticed this, what seems to be an innocent gesture on the part of the mayor to collect more taxes for the people, for the city council. But I'm sure behind this all is directions from APNU. So first of all, why would you want to do a revaluation of properties in Georgetown in this year? We have made it very clear that there will be no revaluation of any property, which means higher taxes for people in Georgetown or any other part of the country. So I want the residents of Georgetown and across the country to know that there shall be no approval for any revaluation exercise. We saw APNU do this in the term they were in office, where the only part that they succeeded in getting this done was in New Amsterdam, where they increased their rates and taxes by 100%. You would recall that we campaigned at local government in 2016 and I think again in 2018 that we will not, any NDC controlled by the People's Progressive Party or any town will not increase taxes. So the residents of Georgetown must know that the PNC, Congress Place, wants their taxes to go up, the rates and taxes.
Folks, you hear madness there? That's this big conspiracy, you know. So, let's not forget this. PNC wants to create confusion. Every year they talk about this revaluation of properties in Georgetown because people paying some rates and taxes, they're paying since 1974. And City Hall talks about this every single year. I've been a councillor. I've been a deputy mayor at the city of Georgetown. Every year this is conversation around the horseshoe table. But you see, this is an election year. And the man is lying and calling himself a liar in the same breath. Because he said, it's not the first time to do it. It's not the first time. They raise rates and taxes. Not the first time for cause confusion. He said when they were in government, you heard that? When they were in government, they raised the rates and tax in New Amsterdam to cause confusion on the self. Because he's saying we want to cause confusion now for them. That's why we bring up this conversation with raising the rates and taxes. So if we in government and we raise the rates and taxes in New Amsterdam, is that we're trying to cause confusion for? This is madness. This is high level, high science. Madness. You see, there's a conspiracy. Every Thursday, he's beating up on City Hall. Oh, the city dirty. The city got to be clean. They're not fulfilling their mandate. And we're not giving them a cent more. But they can raise the rates and taxes to bring in more funding so they can execute on that mandate. You see? You see the trick there? You see the trick there? They're wasting time. You know, there's no leadership at City Hall. City Hall's sleeping. It's bad management. And then when they want to increase fairly the rates and taxes, he got a problem with that. This is not a madman we're dealing with here. But listen to the Donna now. Listen to the Donna. The man saying got corruption at City Hall. Corruption. Dora at City Hall. Yeah. The man said, don't let it call you until you come in and talk about the taxes that you owe. There's corruption. Jump in every shadow. You are the taxes, you know. And if you got to go in and talk to them about the taxes, listen to madness. Listen to madness. Who the God seeks to destroy? The first made man. Take a look.
We have seen the mayor saying something that is pretty unusual, that people must go in to talk to him and the others about their taxes. Now, that is a recipe for corruption, because if you can go in and negotiate a particular deal, then based on previous experience, people walk away with different deals from the city council on the basis of how much bribe they had to pay to some of the leaders there. So two businessmen may owe $10 million in taxes, but one has to pay $1 million and the other maybe $500,000. They get the rest waived. So I would urge the citizens of Georgetown not to go in there and negotiate any payment directly with the mayor or his officers that he may assign to do so.
Folks, the mayor was elected. He is the head of City Hall. Who else you want going to talk to about your taxes? This is madness. Who else? City Hall has what you call amnesty almost on a yearly basis. You can't pay tax, come in and talk with us. We'll take off X amount of the interest and you'll pay X amount, and they set up a plan. And it's a case by case. It's on a case by case basis. They do the amnesty. This is nothing. This is fair mongering. Something fishy. You must come into them and talk about your taxes. This is corruption. Something fishy. The mayor said, come by my house, you know. He said, meet me by Maltino's or the Demerara Cricket Club. Come into City Hall. Where else you want to go and talk about your rates and taxes? Who else you want to go and talk to about your rates and taxes? Ashley? You want to go Freedom House? Woman, folks, yeah, hearing this madness that passes for politics here? Mind you, good folks, this is the same fellow who had Sue in the living room with an investor. Same fellow. Saying that if City Hall call in residents and businesses to talk about the taxes that the residents and the businesses owe and how they can facilitate them, whatever constraints they have to pay up, that's a conspiracy. That is corruption. You're hearing this madness here? You're hearing this. See, he's coming up with all of these contortions and constructions in his mind. And then he's saying, you see, the crooked. And we saw him on tape saying that I on the government side, Sue on this side here. He makes all the arrangements. He get all the support. He corrupt. As a matter of fact, he said he was vindicated. He was vindicated. And it is the very same argument as we wrap up, folks. It is the very same argument they're making about biometrics. This is the same fella who in 2015 argued for biometrics in a greater and more expansive way than we are arguing for biometrics. But now that we are arguing for it, he's coming up with all these contortions in his mind. Some machine won't be working and we can get blackout, and all of these things is some conspiracy that APNU wants to take the election because and this and that and the cameras and this. It's just making up thing in the mind, you know. And fear mongering. Fear them. Fear City Hall. They want to call you to talk about your taxes. Something is wrong with that. Something is sneaky and suspicious. But City Hall want to talk to you about your taxes. Watch them. Watch them. Listen to your boy and biometrics as we wrap up. The closer. Hear madness. Hear madness. It's not even intellectual madness. It's just madness. And fear mongering.
But to give 2,500 presiding officers the authority to determine whether you will vote or not, when you go to the polling place and then they come up with they have these biometrics now and say, you failed the biometrics, you can't vote, or I'll give you a tendered ballot, which doesn't get counted. Just imagine that were that to happen in 10 polling places. That will be the beginning of the confusion that they were cheated. That's one. Two, they want to ensure, that's why they're insisting also, not so much now, that they want cameras at every polling place. So if you have cameras at every polling place and they deliberately caused 10 of them to malfunction, especially in, say, their stronghold or the PPP stronghold, they will ask for the results of those 10 cameras and then say, oh, the cameras are now working. There must have been something wrong, that there was a plot to steal elections. The PNC's inventiveness on stealing can't be underestimated. They have done this as a science. They have developed this into a science, stealing elections, from a very long time. And we are watching at every attempt to sow confusion. In the last elections, people went, they voted, 661,000 people on the list, 461,000 voted. That was it. The rest could not vote because they didn't present themselves to the station. We have a robust system now to ensure against voters impersonation.
So don't let us look at biometrics. That's what he's saying. But before you go, folks, understand what the fella just said. The fella just said, PNC, R, APNU, AFC, they have an inventiveness for stealing elections. And this man said, I'm inventing all this, you know. Oh, they can say the cameras didn't work in. We didn't start one camera yet. Oh, they can say you can't vote. This biometric thing ain't working. My Lord. Oh, City Hall want to come and pay taxes? Something wrong there. Suspicious activity. He's inventing all these things, you know. But he says the other man more inventive than me. Folks, this is not method. This is just madness. Yeah, here I tell you. Bring this man's in. This is not method here. It's full. You gone. It's just full. My government planned this thing good. It's them contractors. Building them road. Building them bridges. It's them. It's not we. Them poles that fall down. We planned this thing good, man. It's them boys. That's inventive. That is the apex of inventiveness. You hear me telling you all? It is the apex of inventiveness. He's a hypocrite. He is a hypocrite, not to be trusted on the brightest day, much more the darkest night. He's a first-rate hypocrite. Inventive. Father of invention. Father of the invention of the thing called lying. Same fellow there. Same fellow had Sue in the living room. Same fellow. Pack of lies. Folks, share the broadcast before you go. Smash that emoji button, guys. We're going to leave you there and catch you guys on the next broadcast. Good to have so many of you on the live tonight. Esther and Bantu. Lion by Jagdeo of Science. Thank you, Bantu. Thank you. Jacqueline Height. Sparkle Gonzalez. You got it right. Sparkle True Awards. have not been spoken. Jekyll and Hyde. You know who you get in whichever day. Same fellow. Let me go. Fennel, Ines, Reandries, Donna, Yvette, Ingrid, Sandra, Wynette. Good to have had all of you on the live show. John Miller, Brian. Good to have you folks. Thanks for joining us. Share the live for us before you go, folks. And smash that emoji button as well. That's our time, folks. Last time. And that's our program. See you guys in the next one. Stay safe.